What if I told you the modern world was built on greed, ambition, and a bit of madness? 500 years ago, the world wasn't connected. No airplanes, no maps, no idea what lay beyond the edge of the ocean. But one decision, one voyage, changed everything. It was the dawn of a new age, an age of explorers, chasing gold, glory, and sometimes God. But behind every heroic story of discovery is a darker truth of conquest, greed, and entire civilizations erased from history. Welcome to the age of exploration, the time when the world went from mystery to empire. The 1400s. Europe was recovering from the Black Death. Kingdoms were growing powerful again. Portugal, Spain, England, France. But there was one thing they all wanted: spices. Yes, spices. Pepper, cinnamon, cloves. They were worth their weight in gold. Europeans used them to preserve food, trade, and show off their wealth. The problem? The land route, the Silk Road, was controlled by the Ottoman Empire, and they weren't letting anyone through without a high price. So, the kings of Europe turned to the ocean. If the land is blocked, they thought, maybe the sea can lead us to the riches of the East. That single idea, to sail into the unknown, would spark the greatest era of exploration in history. It started with Portugal, a small nation but obsessed with the sea. Prince Henry the Navigator built schools for sailors, taught them how to read the stars, and sent them farther and farther down the coast of Africa. One by one, they mapped the uncharted world. Then came Spain, and with it, a name that would change history forever: Christopher Columbus. In 1492, Columbus set sail west, believing he could reach Asia by crossing the Atlantic. Instead, he stumbled upon an entirely new world. But he didn't know it. He thought he'd found islands off the coast of India, hence the name Indians. That mistake reshaped history forever, because suddenly two empires, Spain and Portugal, had discovered infinite new lands, and they didn't plan to share, so they went to the Pope. And in 1494, the world was literally split in half. Through the Treaty of Tordesillas, Spain got the West, most of the Americas, and Portugal got the East, Africa, Asia, Brazil. Imagine that, the entire planet divided on paper. But exploration wasn't just about discovery. It was about domination. Gold became the obsession. Spanish conquistadors sailed to the New World not to explore, but to conquer. In just a few decades, they destroyed entire civilizations. The Aztecs, the Incas, empires that had existed for centuries, wiped out in the name of wealth and God. Hernán Cortés burned his own ships so his men couldn't turn back. Francisco Pizarro executed an emperor after demanding a ransom of gold so massive it could fill a room. And the worst part? Europe celebrated them as heroes. The age of exploration brought incredible wealth to Europe and unimaginable suffering to millions of others. Behind every golden treasure ship returning to Spain were the lives of those who paid the price. Enslaved Africans, indigenous people forced to mine, to farm, to fight for someone else's empire. While kings and merchants grew rich, entire cultures vanished from the map. But still, the explorers kept sailing, driven by greed, fueled by the dream of becoming legends. And in the process, they connected and conquered the globe. By the 1600s, the age of exploration had changed everything. Europe controlled trade routes across every ocean. New technologies, new foods, new diseases, a new global order built on ambition and blood. The world had been reborn, but at a cost that can never be repaid. We gained the world and lost our innocence. Today, we remember explorers as heroes, but history tells a different story. Yes, they mapped the world. Yes, they connected continents. But they also left behind a legacy of conquest, exploitation, and empire. The same spirit that drove Columbus, Magellan, and Pizarro still drives the world today. In greed, in competition, in power. And maybe that's the real lesson, that exploration always comes at a price. This was the age of exploration, gold, glory, and greed, a story of courage, ambition, and consequence. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden truths of history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Dusk in Times for more stories that reveal how the past still shapes our world today, because every empire has its price, and every age of discovery hides a darker side.